Good morning, everybody. I've had the perfect Sunday style lie-in compared to all the other hours I've been working this week. I've managed to lie until 6:30 and now it's 6:51 and it's time to get some breakfast. This is day 400 since I decided to start working for myself. Let's get some butter. Everyone loves a bit of butter. Got a load of washing up done last night, let me tell you. Well, that bit will do. Let's just glaze the inside of the pan with that. We've got to get ourselves a full-on breakfast. I'm not skimping. I've got to use this butter up before it goes off, let me tell you. So today we have no real fixed agendum because the diary has literally, well, I haven't physically thrown it out the window, but I may as well have because it's, I've been working some crazy hours lately. It's just literally been 36 hours, 10 hours of sleep, 36 hours, 10 hours of sleep, 36 hours. Oh, and that's 7 o'clock. Yeah, I know. Let's flip this egg over. Beautiful. Bit of brown sauce. What? And just, you know, to make sure I'm not eating too unhealthily in the morning. Oh, a bit of lettuce. Nice bit of lettuce with that. Today's soundtrack is the Stalingrad main suite from the 1993 film. So let's get rolling. Alright, let's do it. Oh, it's still dark outside. Lovely. So this morning we were going to get the van sorted and a little bit tidier because I've got like an old shower screen in the back and all sorts, but it's chucking it down with rain. So I think what I'll do when I get to my office, which is just where I used to live, do my invoice. He wants a written, like a printed invoice as such, because she's not big on technology, and then we're going to print that off, and then hopefully the rain will have stopped by then. The other general ether of jobs that we've got to do. Oh, let me turn off my music. There we go, that's better. It's the thing, you can't really talk when you've got music in your ear. But on the general ether of jobs to do, I've got a 3-port valve to do for somebody else. And I've got, I think I've got to put some lagging up on the side of a building, but that's not going to happen today. It's just, look at it. Unless it really radically changes in the next 2 hours, it's not going to happen. And then there was somebody that wanted a new riser rail, I think. Something like that. Those are all jobs for other people. And then I've got stuff to do in Woburn. I was going to do that next week. There's another client again. Stuff to do in Woburn. I've got stuff to do in Leighton Buzzard on Tuesday. I've got the college has just emailed me, because you see the thing is, right, although I run my own business, right, you know, you still got to do your time, you still got to go to college, and they just emailed me. They emailed me on December the 5th to say that on December the 12th you needed to come in all day. You know, if you booked a few weeks ahead of yourself, that is a major matter. It is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. You know, the only way I'm going to get gas safe is by going to college and actually putting the effort in. So, as much as it pains me, that's what we'll do. Oh, big puddle there. Oh, Oi, 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 oi. Yeah. So I think that's what we'll do first. We'll print off the invoice for the client along with the purchase order for the materials, so that they've got their guarantee airtight. Even if they don't fill out the form and send it off, they can still say they've got proof of purchase from this date, which they do. That's another thing that I do. I always give the clients the receipt for the materials, so that if there's a warranty issue or warranty claim with anything I fit, I ain't got to like worry about it and try and find you know, all this paperwork and go through my filing system. It should be with them and they should have it, and then also I can say to them, well, do you have the thing I gave you? And sort of the onus is on them to put the work in and find it, and if they don't, then you know, obviously I'll try and find it in my paperwork, but I want them to, the default should be not to give yourself an extra task to do. The default should be, like the way I'm setting it up, is that there's always somebody else should always be doing it as such, because I've just got too much to do. And also I'm not at the stage where I'm able to organise myself properly, just because I can't sink that kind of time in. So we've done a couple of little bits this morning, nothing really to write home about, and I've lost my glove. What have I done with my glove? There it is. Gotta have your driving glove. Right, that's programmed into there. Not quite sure why it looks so strange on the through these damn lenses, but oh well. So yeah, now we're off to do this 3-port valve I mentioned about. Sent off about 4 invoices this morning. Arranged a bunch of work. We've got to get in to look at this leak now at 3:30, not 2. So it gives us a bit of breathing room today. Absolutely chucking it down. Managed to get rid of the glass off the back of the van. So there's that. And well, yeah, lots of fun. So I guess I'll see you guys there. Actually a loft I can stand up in, which is nice. Really need to get a 22 speed fit cap, but this is really good with the old Jubilee clip on there. And I don't even need a screwdriver. I can get the damn thing back on the bung. Come on. Alright. This is where having weak hands is really not a help. Oh. Very nicely laid out lock, very tidy. Lots of wine. Find this one gives you the best seal. Don't know why. This one for rad actually. When you take the radiator off, you're meant to put that in there. But it works really well. The F&E is a lot better than the other type. that and I lost the other one. Right. Here's the fin. It's been leaking that. Just in there. Unusual. Very unusual. I'll leave that. Oh God, there's a jungle in here. A goddamn jungle. And I don't know. Oh no. Lovely. I love it. I love the dirt just spilling out everywhere. Gross. Right. Bloody hoovers. So yeah, I'm going to chuck that thing in the bin first chance I get, but at the moment I've got to cope with it. Let's put that back where that belongs. Up there. Don't need a laser level to change 3-port valve. Maybe I do. Maybe I've been doing it wrong all these years. Is the paste in there? Yes it is. Right. Take the whole lot up with us. I've been looking for them. They live in there. Ooh. Lovely. Lovely bit of paste on there. Does it have a blue roll? Thought it did. Right. interesting failure on that. Right. I'll get it changed over. That's what we like a good vacuum. Very interesting failure on that one. Alright, let's take this off. I have to say this is a lot easier to get off than the speed fit cap. Once it's under vacuum, it can be a pain. Other than that, water, a little bit dirty, but nothing to write home about. All in all, pretty tidy system. And we can let that refill gradually as we do our wiring now. If that makes any sense. Put the lid have thought about that. Good, good, good. Do you want anything out the loft before I put the ladder away? No worries. No problem. Thanks for the use of your ladder, it saves me getting mine out of the van. Interesting fault. Kind of makes me worried because I've fitted a lot of these. It's literally coming out of this gland. Interesting. Taken just over an hour. And this is really all unnecessary. I know it's working, but it's due diligence, isn't it? Pump will overrun for the moment. You can tell that boiler's not lit because the pipe's cooling down. Never even used no waterproof sheet. Never mind. There we go, that's about where that was. Let's put the cover back on. Very nice. Screws are retained so they don't get lost. Very good taste. All the connections are tight first. Let's check. And the pump's gone off, as it should. All the connections are tight, in as was. Right and the wrong way around to put this or something. Yes, evidently there is. Makes no sense. You can see that's not quite central. Don't know if that'll come up on the video. Out for this. This keeps tripping. There's nothing apparently wrong with it, but let's see. Let's first check that it's there. I don't want to jump up and down. Well, I won't jump up and down. I'll just jump up and die. I can electrocute myself on this, and it is dead. That's fine. Let's check the resistance on the heater. We've got 5 ohms there. What we got there? We got 10 ohms there, but what is actually doing the heating? It's got to be one of these, and yeah, one of them. Those are the 2 poles doing the heating. That's the brown and that. We'll check resistance of that. So yeah, 6 ohms on the leads, and then on the actual heating element itself, it's like not even 4 ohms, 40 ohms even. I'll get that decimal point right. Yeah, 40.4 ohms, and then on the leads it would be 60, not 6. 60, so that's a nice high value. But yeah, nothing wrong with this as such, so it's either a wiring issue or there might be something wrong with this in terms of the actual circuit board that you saw on there. It's quite a complex unit, but the heating element on it's fine, so I mean, it could be that a bit of water's getting in, but personally my hunch is that there's a wider issue with something, or there's something else on the same breaker as this which is causing the problem, but we shall see. I'm sure this is one I will be back to. I'll look up the specs and I'll see on the web if there's any wider issues with it. The Myra Advance electrical shower, quite an expensive unit, and it keeps tripping the breaker every once in a while. Now they say they've had like burning smells from it, but took the cover off, couldn't see anything apparently wrong with it. Checked the resistance across the water heater inside it, and that's coming out at about 40 ohms, which I've got to crunch the numbers in a minute, but that sounds about right. Saying that I did fail A-level physics, so might not be, but 40 ohms, yeah, because I mean you're looking at about sort of like 15-20 ohms for a immersion heater, and that's going to be what, 2.7 kilowatt. So yeah, no, it does sound about right, but we'll see. It was 60 ohms on the leads and 40 ohms. That guy's trying to pull out in front of me. 40 ohms on the actual the heating elements itself, like without going down the leads. That's exactly what it was. So no, it wasn't. It was, yeah, 60 ohms on the 40 ohms on the actual unit. So yeah, either there's a wider fault with the wiring, I think, or possibly because that was quite a complex circuit board on that unit with like lots of like stuff going on. you know, relays, micro switches, and all this other stuff. So it might be, I don't know if it's premature to say, it might be something wrong with that, but again, it's a Myra, so it shouldn't have anything wrong with it. It's a good unit. It's only 2016, so it's only 2 years old. So yeah, like I say, time will tell. What am I doing now? I'm going into town. I'll pick up some bits. Good old Lindsley plumbing. Get some stuff ordered. I've got this toilet that I need to sort out for a client. What that was, and I'll see if I can jump on it today. Actually, or either that, or I've got a leak on a condense I could jump on today. But there's a toilet that's got crap fill rate because it's on a horrible valve, and it's got horrible flexi onto it, which is kinked, and it's just sort of sad, really. So I said to her to you know, just let us sort it out, and she wanted us to do the cheapest thing possible, which was to just take the flush out, because that's what it was. It was constantly running. So we took the flush out and put one in of the same type, you know, where you just untwist the top, and it's ideal standard flush. And you know, so it's like an armated Shanks ideal standard toilet, and I literally had the same flush on a loo I just fitted, and I took it out because I saw that it was having issues with this other job that I'm speaking about, and so I swapped those round with a brand new unit, and she called me up like a couple of weeks later and she said it's doing it again. So we're going to strip it down, we're gonna take the old horrible flush out, redo that, and then we're gonna, you know, repipe it as well. Nice new bit of chrome, because the old chrome's all faded and nasty looking. So it is a 15-year-old bathroom, to be fair. You know, early 2000s it was done, so it's not fared too badly. But yeah, so we're going to repipe that with some proper pipe work. Full flow isolator on there, beautiful chrome full flow isolator with like the screw in it. Only time I'd use screw valves, just because you don't want a big coloured tab in the middle of the bathroom like that. We'll do that, repipe it all, lovely jubbly, and change the flush for one of my standard Pimp Daddy flushes. Because then if it ever goes wrong again, I'll just swap it round for a new one, and then another new one, and just keep going. Personally, I think there's something inherently wrong with the ideal push button, the way it's designed, because it's the older style design with just like a rod that comes down and, like, you know, with like an actual stick on the end of the button that actually depresses the loo. And I think the brake cable method's a lot better, because you don't get that where it's like the client fiddles with it, or doesn't press it hard enough, or doesn't press it in the right way, and you end up with the water running all the time. That's what I reckon it is. Because if you've got something that's brand new and it's doing the exact same thing as the one that's been in there God knows how many years, and it started happening in this time frame, you know, maybe she's hurt her hand or something and can't press it as hard or something like that, or arthritis or whatever, and that's why that fault would show up on two completely different, you know, units as such, one brand new and one old. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. That's why we're going to swap it over for the push button with the little brake cable and the thing that snaps onto it, and just bring her into the 21st. Oh well, looks like a tarmac in the road or something. Now they're just starting to back a dump truck out onto the street, so it'll be fun trying to park up there in a minute. That's the only bad thing I can say about Lindsley, is that Lindsley Plumbing, that is that you cannot park anywhere near the damn shop most of the time. Well, you can actually. I mean, to be fair, I have parked outside several times, right outside, when I didn't even need to pick anything up. I just generally gone there to loiter with intent. So no, you can park out there, but just not at like certain times. And this is like, you know, it's lunchtime, so everybody's coming to get their stuff, and that's when you can't park. And they do deliver most of the stuff, well, all of their stuff really. Oh, it's road closed, is it? That's a pig. Oh well. No, I'm going to get my stuff now. That's probably why they had a great big lorry on it. Oh well, what I'll do is I'll go back round to that street I drove up and park up there. That's going to be a pain. What are you doing? Just go. Bloody people. Like, why was she looking at me funny as well? Like, oh, what are you doing? You're turning right. How dare you? How dare you turn right out of a junction? Did a basin tap on this road because I've got some fish and chips there Friday night. Last Friday, that is, not this Friday. Yeah, basin tap. One of these doors it is, and bloody hell, the bathroom in that was huge. It was bigger than my flat. Their bathroom was bigger than my flat. It's not really hard for a bathroom to be bigger than my flat, mind, but it is bigger than my flat. But, yeah, no, it's the same about the plumbing in that place though. It was horrible. I remember it was all speed fit, absolutely everywhere, and the tap had a flexi and then another flexi going to it, and it was just a pain. Alright, I just have to park in this road. I don't understand why I couldn't have that as the road going up, so then you could just drive up the road, and then this is the road going down, rather than having it, this is the road going up, because there's nothing here, there's no shops or anything, so all of these people have just got like parking and parking and parking because everyone's trying to get into Lindsay Plumbing, and it's just, yeah, it's a bit of a pain. But we've got a nice little space here. There's indicators, you know, all that, and do a nice little parallel park, make that big BMW wait, and bring it back round, back round, back round, back round. Oh, he's hit the curb, he's failed his test. Oh well, maybe I'll pass it next time. Saying that, I really do want to be jacked up on the curb because these parking spaces are so narrow. There's no way that's the width of a standard space. Yeah, I know, granny parking assist, bollocks. There we go. I think that's a respectable amount of room. Anyway, speak to you in a bit. Here we are at the Adams family retreat. Let's have a look at this 3-port valve. So I think it's quite an interesting fault. That, and we've got to tidy up the van. Oh. There it is. So it's evidently failed on the gland. So if we take that off, we'll see. Might be able to tell us something we don't know. And also it'd be interesting to see what damage it's done to the head, because I replaced that as well. Though I don't know if it would still have worked without replacing it. So it'd be interesting to see if that repair was necessary, and whether in the future, if we have one that's got water on it, whether it's just fine just to change the actuator and, or not change the body, and just leave the head in tandem in place, and not, that way you save a bit of time on the wiring. This tool bag is a mess. Get that down here. Over the Christmas break I'm going to be reorganising this, so I'll have to excuse the state of it for now because it looks absolutely shite. absolutely shite. Don't even know where anything is. Just looking for my hex bit screwdriver. That's all I want. I'll use the kit in the middle. Save ourselves the aggro. Let's have a look at this. Why this has failed. So that's a T27 bit. Turn it so it's like a real screwdriver. And another reason for doing this, like I know it might seem pointless, but I separate a lot of my scrap metal out, and the scrap yard actually give me a better rate when I separate the steel from the brass, so there is method in my madness. That, and you can keep the screws and use them. I'll put them in my screw box and use them on, well, I wouldn't say I'd use them on another valve, but there might be an instance where I need a threaded screw of this type, in which case I'll have them. Little things like this kept in your trays will save your skin one day. I have had one of these apart before, but not on video, and I really do rate these valves. I mean, this is what I install myself, although this was a subcontract job, because of the ability to change the head over. It's so rusted up, it doesn't want to come off, does it? So let's have a look and see. Oh, it's all flown apart. Let's see if we can see anything. So we've got our two pieces there, and these normally would have been fixed through on your pins, so if it makes any sense, that part goes on there like that. So instead of having like a big rubber shoe like you would in a Honeywell valve, for instance, you have a big rubber ball in there. This has two little flat sort of, I don't even know what this material is. It's just almost like some sort of Baker-like material on this spline. And the idea is that that can turn, well, not that bit, but the actual valve can turn, and that's how it turns the water off, because it turns that into the face of the valve like that, and then obviously that will turn to the side and allow the water to pass. Now what is interesting to me is how this seals. So we've got a little split clip or whatever it is here, a little spring clip. So let's pop that off and see how this has failed. It just appears to be a copper clip holding that on. And then does that pull in or push out? I would have thought it would push out. What we'll do, put it down like that. Let's see if we can't tap it out. There we go. It's tapped out. So that just appears to be just a tubular wall with some sort of liner, looks like. That's in here. It's got this sort of, don't know what that is. It's like a gasket, isn't it? So we've got this gasket here, which presumably is some sort of seal that presses into the bottom of the pin. The clip even. There's the clip gone. So the problem when you take things apart, you lose bits of it. There it is. So evidently this is beneath that, and it's on the pin, the actual actuator pin. And that's what holds it in place. And then this was on the bottom. This is just some sort of bushing that sits in the bottom of the valve, presumably just to stop the bottom from waggling about, which would make sense because that has got to still allow the water, that's where the water will come in, and then the pin will be in there like this, so it'll sort of sit in there like that, and then when the valve's turned, obviously it'll turn like that inside the machine, inside the valve itself, and this head will turn that. So that obviously has to allow the water to pass through when it comes from the boiler, because the primary flow from the boiler will come this way, and then it'll be split off and sent either to the hot water, B for bath, that's how you remember that. That's a PB you can thank for that little rhyme, because I used to really worry about it. I used to, it's like the classic thing, you always go like, oh, what if I put it in the wrong way around? It's always in the back of your mind. But ever since I watched one of his videos on that, I always remember it that way. And then you've got port A, which is for the central heating, and this will be on what's known as a Y-plan system for all those at the back of the class. I'm not going to tell you exactly how all this works, but I'll keep you a little bit schooled up. And yeah, in my mind, that is a better valve because it's got a nice big waterway in that. Look at that, that's quite big, like I can get my little finger in there. Whereas the Honeywell one, it's just, we'll take one of those apart one day, but it's just got like a rubber sphere in it. So I think it's more constricting to the flow. That's why I rated this valve. But looking at the pin again, we've got two O-rings on it. In addition, this slot here is where the, I'll try and show you on the white so you can see it better. So we've got this slot here, which is where this little clip was holding it on. And then we had the washer underneath that. And then it's got a rubber O-ring there and another rubber O-ring there. And yet somehow it still managed to come through. You can also see this water's quite black. So it will be interesting to see, because I've not really had one of these Danfoss ones leak like this before. It'll be interesting to see what the inside of the head is like and whether that's penetrated it, because we've got some orange rust here from the arm. You can see that this actual arm is rusted. But this is a doubly insulated head. It's got a little symbol on it somewhere that says so. Yeah, here we go. This is doubly insulated and I think does have some sort of water rating, although I'm not sure what. So it'd be interesting to see what damage has occurred inside the valve itself. We'll lock this open just so we can undo that screw there. But that's how the body of it's failed. And it was literally, you saw the job. I don't know how much of this I'll edit in, but he had a saucepan in the airing cupboard and he was using it to catch the water. And he had like a little saucepan that it wasn't filling in a week. So it was a real slow drip. But even so, I don't think that's the principle of the thing. I think the principle of the thing is that it shouldn't leak. I don't think this could have been operating correctly because it's not motoring shut again. But we shall see. Cannot get my screwdriver in there for some reason. Oh, there we go. I mean, this did go out of warranty sometime. It went out of warranty in 2009, so I don't think it's done bad. It's done 9 years, basically. Almost 10 years. August 2009, so it would have been 9 years, yeah. It would have been 10 years next August. I don't know, somebody's just messaging me. It's not work though, so who cares? Well, I care, obviously, but there we go. Alright, so that's the top of it off. Very nice, little pot to put things in. So that can go in with the containers, I think. With Danfoss lid. Then we've got a little heat sink for the motor, which nicely conforms. I mean, this is literally made out of just nothing. I think it's probably zinc. It doesn't taste like aluminium anyway. If it was aluminium, it wouldn't be shiny like this. So it's quite a, literally like just a little heat sink. That's all that does. It's basically like the fins on your radiator. It takes heat away from this part, which is the motor. So let's have a look in here. There is sign of moisture, so it has evidently got inside the valve. You can see how there's rust here. So we were right to swap it. Let's get our Phillips on here, and looks like a Phillips 0. We'll get that on here. Oh, if I can get it out. Come out. So evidently this box is not, this top actuator is not waterproof anyway. And yeah, so it's come straight in there. You can see that's still wet. Because remember, this was wrapped in the dust sheet, so it wasn't in the bucket like this part was. So it would have been still wet. There we go. It's literally just some sort of plastic that's like really soft. Look at that. Look how soft that is. You can just dig your blade into that. That's another thing actually. It's quite interesting. If you get any grit or anything in your system, the you know, the actuator, the Danfoss valve, like you can just cut that. Like it's almost like it's wood. That's how soft that is. It's almost like it's just wood. You can just whittle that down to nothing. It's quite interesting. Anyway, that's been the Danfoss valve. That's how it works. That's what it's made of. Well, the 3-port valve anyway. We'll do a 2-port, but I think somehow I get a feeling that it'll be almost exactly the same as this. Right, everyone. Just finished looking at this job. It's a just a standard bath reseal, and we might try and get a new bit for the shower. Sealant. The house is about 12 years old. It's on we're on Sandhills at the moment in Leighton Buzzard, and it's just I mean, it's a pretty new house, but it's just, yeah, the mastic around the thing's gone. Fortunately, it hasn't damaged the ceiling, so we don't have to worry about that, but we have got to get it sort of sorted before Christmas. So yeah, 2 mixed tubes. Dow Corning plus blue roll. And it's one of those jobs, it's not really going to cost anything, but at the same time it's going to take me a good couple of hours, so it's literally just to turn up and work on it, and she's back by about 4ish, so it'll be one of those evening ones we squeeze in. And I'm thinking about Tuesday. Actually, I need to note that on here, Tuesday evening. This is how I keep all my notes, you see, on here, and then it just makes it a lot easier, especially with the pen. You can just write evening, because I've got another job up in town which shouldn't take me too long. So if I start that 8 o'clock in the morning, which I can, he actually gave me the code for that, so that'll be fun. I can actually, because he wasn't going to be there, so I could get the camera tripod in, we could film that. Lovely jubbly. I do need to look at his notes actually to make sure I haven't got to do anything else. Simon Bucket, here we go. Here's the other job I'm doing on Tuesday, so it's this thing. Got to change that over. Yeah, high level system fitted. Brackets required, so I need that. Oh, I should have asked her to use the loo while I was there, but there we go. Oh yeah, and he wanted these stock cocks replacing, that one and that one with modern ones. I remember that. Circle those. That's what I love about it. You can put pictures in, and the fact that you can insert pictures into this really helps you remember what's what on your jobs. All the stuff's there. I remember that. There's another one where I can just turn up and crack on. It was booked in, because if it wasn't booked in I'd push it onto the new year, but it was booked in like October when I went there to quote, because I've been doing this like just so much. And yeah, so that's fun. But we are right near another customer which had a leaking basin, and I've actually got a basin waste here on my passenger seat in this absolute shithole of a van. Well, it's not, it's a good van, but it's just so messy where I've been working non-stop. Just 12-hour shift, 14-hour shift, come home, sleep for a few hours, go back out again, just constantly, and just I've really neglected the infrastructure of my business as such, keeping myself organized, keeping stuff tidy. All that's just gone out the window, and it's just been work. And yeah, you make money, but oh my god, it is not worth the stress of not being able to find stuff. Where was I? We're on Allison. I can't find these notes now. Customers. Here we go. So that's that. I might not show you all of this because it's got their details on it. What's really funny actually is this client, her father had the exact same issue. I was saying to her, it sort of runs in the family, but you know, it's just one of those things. It's sort of like, oh, you know, oh yeah, I was just here, and then oh, your father had the exact same problem. But there we go. Is that Glenn? I don't know why I'm locking my doors. I bet that's Glenn. I used to work for Glenn. Yeah, for cleaning the school. No, that's not Glenn. No, it's different. It's somebody else. I used to clean the school on this estate. That's why I ask that stuff sometimes. I'm like, oh, is that Glenn? Anyway, let's try and find the tenant for 38 New Road. No, not 38 New Road. Yeah, no, it is 38 New Road, isn't it? Jody. Message. Oh no, that's not the right tenant. There's a tenant on this estate who had a leaking basin waste. I knew it. Let's go back. Is it David's tenant? Yeah, here we go. Our pop-up waste is gone. I remember it now. Let's give her a ring. Voice call. Going a message. Oh well, we can still do it, but otherwise I'll probably have to drop onto it either Saturday afternoon, Sunday. And again, I apologise in the time it's taken. It's just you've been on the list, but you know, and it's taken this long to get to the top of the list as such. But anyway, I hope to hear from you soon. You can contact me on 077. Thank you very much. You take care now. Bye bye. That, everybody, is the masterclass in how to leave a little message for a customer. What we'll do is we'll go to the shop, get some more sweeties, do a bit of paper. I could do a bit of invoicing in the van, and yeah. I don't even know if Glenn still works at Sandhills. Probably doesn't. Might do. That'd be a good contact. Even though I was an 18-year-old oik when I worked at Sandhills. It's like Greenleaf School. I'm pretty sure this is even the same street as that job I was saying about. But could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it is this street. Looked familiar. That and that the client actually, she looked familiar. I don't know. I think it's a case of just everybody looks familiar after a while. It's not that you actually know them. It's just, oh, I don't know. There's a programmer into my phone. That's the other thing I'll do. Dear. It would have been nice to have got that basin out of the way tonight, but there we go. Yeah, that's where I used to clean over there. I used to cycle down this very road. God, those were the days, eh? And your only tools are a mop and a bucket and your own stupidity. What a shame I had to grow up. Anyway, let's get out of memory lane. Let's go and do some food shopping, I think, while we're in town. And then, actually, if I do my food shopping in town, then I can still come back here, if need be, to do that basin waste if she picks up the message on her phone. Probably charge this camera up because it's run flat about 3 or 4 times today, but there we go. I want to try and dig up my GoPro again because I can set that up on the tripod and that can film for hours and hours and hours, really. It's not actually a GoPro, it's like a clone. I think it was a clone of a GoPro, so it's like sort of 2 stages removed. Right, so we're just back home. We never did get to go to that other tenant in the end. So yeah. Let's get our washing hammer up on the line. So today, also my 2 o'clock cancelled. I don't know if I mentioned that. So today we managed to change that valve over, get a bunch of admin work done. Didn't tidy up the van as much as I would like, so I'm going to try, after I do my admin tomorrow at Brian Curry's, we're going to try and get that sorted. That's now a real priority because it's sort of like, it's getting to the stage where it makes me physically angry. You know, the amount of stress that it's causing is just, it's unbelievable. Like the amount of time that you waste looking for stuff because you can't find it, the amount of stress that causes when you're on the clock, especially. I mean, today was an off the clock day, but if it was on the clock, if people were counting on me to get to them, if it was, you know, a real drama, then that just exacerbates things. So that is why it's going to be top priority. But I've got to have warranty work done on my van because, you know, why would you not just make sure the van's good before you sell it to me? You know, why not? You know, it's obviously so much easier to you know, just have me come and bring it back in on my own time. Honestly, you know, and this is like the top of the shelf van, so I don't know what, you know, like I don't know. You know, what is it like if you have like a Vivaro or something else and then it needs something doing to? Because I mean, those things just fall apart, don't they? If any of you drive a Vivaro, let me know. But But yeah, for the most part, it's been day 400. I've got to do some more invoicing because I've got about 2 weeks of backlogged invoicing to do. I reckon if I could get some more sent off tomorrow as well, get the van tidied, possibly pop in to invoice a client in person because she didn't want to do bank transfer, so I can pop in my invoice and hopefully get her booked in after Christmas, not before, after Christmas, to do the little bit of finishing work there. And I'll show you a ideal standard lure I installed. I'll ask her if it's alright to do a little bit of filming. Although, you know, with these glasses you can do it sort of covertly, but at the same time I want to kind of get to the stage now where I can sort of showcase my work, be like, this is what I do, this is what I'm about, and sort of, if people want to know what standard I'm working to, not only can I show them pictures, I can just point them to the video where I've done a job exactly like the one I've done. That's the sort of schedule I'm on now. I know this, me doing my washing in my flat's a little bit more vloggy and a little bit less on the tools than perhaps I'd like, but it's the only time I've really got to do a proper voiceover and analysis of the day. And yeah, and these uniforms have got to go. They are getting so, well, I think the pair of trousers I got on I think I've had since day one, so these have had 400 days of absolute hell, and they look like it. The grey set, I think I got a little bit later actually, and these tops are new. Well, they were new. I mean, fucking look at this thing. It's got so much silicone on it. It's a joke. And this is another thing. If you can't find something like Blue Roll, what happens is you end up wiping your hands on your clothes, and then your clothes look like crap. That's another reason why my systems all need upgrading to make all of that seamless. But yes, I hope you found this interesting, and if you live in the Milton Keynes area or the greater county of Buckinghamshire or Bedford and you need some work doing, feel free to give us a ring.